Alrighty, we are back with another episode of Twisting It with Taffy. On today's Sex Talk, I have the beautiful and lovely Melody Minxxx.
Oh, hi. Flattery will get you everywhere. Thank you, Taffy. Thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. My name is Melody Minxxx. That's with a Y, not an I. I am an adult film starlet and model. I've been in the industry for about a year. I shoot all kinds of things, but maybe we'll get into that later. Do we do socials now or later?
You can go ahead and plug yourself in.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at minxmelody. I am on Instagram at melody.minx. And you can also find me on Loyal Fans, OnlyFans, MiniVids, Pornhub, Clips for Sale. I try to do all the socials.
Yeah. And those will also be found in the bio. Do you have a link tree or anything that does all of that?
I do, yes. You can find my link tree.
That link tree will be in the bio.
Yes.
Because that's way easier.
Yeah.
But we just got done shooting a scene together.
We did.
How was it for you?
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun too. I'm still pretty new to a lot of the stuff, and I get in my head a lot about the filming of stuff because, I have the photography and theater background. So whenever it comes to actually performing, I'm like, I gotta focus on the back end. No, I gotta perform. My dick's in you. Fuck.
Yeah. I don't know. Were you focusing on the back end?
Just a little bit.
Back end?
Yeah. It was a pretty nice back end.
Usually the front gets a lot of attention.
But yeah.
If you know.
Our scene today was pretty fun. We did a cute little yoga instructor video of sorts, which you'll be able to check out pretty soon, if not already by the time this podcast comes out. But to get into the podcast, what got you into the industry, or how did you get into it?
I'm kind of a different story as far as that goes. I'm 45, and I didn't do the industry when a lot of people do when they're, really young, like 18, 19.
Right out of high school.
Yeah.
Teeny bopper age.
Yeah, I've always been super self-conscious about my body and just really shy in that way. Even though I was a very sexual person, I was really shy about it. And then after lockdown, part of pandemic, I think like a lot of people, we reassessed what we were doing. And I decided that I didn't want to work for assholes anymore, doing jobs that I don't care about and that don't pay me any money. And
that is exactly how I felt when I worked at Walmart during the pandemic, because there was no other choice.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I hate it here every day. I'd clock in, put my headphones in, and just do the shit. It was great for listening to podcasts, because I got 8 hours of podcast listening in a day. But other than that, I went home and I was like, man, I could just fucking jump. I could do it. I hate this so much. And then finally the pandemic started wrapping up, quote unquote, to a point where I could go back to being stagehand and doing that stuff, which pays significantly better.
Yeah.
And I get to travel. And because of that, I now get to do sex work, which is something I've also always wanted to do. I guess I didn't really realize that I wanted to do it until relatively recently, about a year and a half ago. Because I've always been a very hypersexual person.
Yeah.
And it's... I've never been shy about it by any means. If you would have asked anyone in high school, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's a whore. That checks out. I could totally see him doing it." But I grew up in Arkansas. I grew up in the Bible Belt. I grew up in an area where that just wasn't a thing where people were doing. So I never really put two and two together, being like, "Oh, I could do that too."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm from Texas, and you're bringing out my southern accent.
Yeah.
Also coming from a very conservative region. But yeah, I just decided, I can't do this anymore. And I was referred to someone. I live in Philly. I was referred to someone there who had a dungeon type situation, and they were putting out videos on their own, and I thought maybe I would get into camming.
Yeah.
So I just I brought my little one person trampoline and bounced my boobs around, and my clit got played with a vibrator. And,
Oh no. Scandalous.
And I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. And then I saw the video and I was like, damn, I look good on film. And this is fun. And like, I found out that I really like acting, and that I really, I enjoy like the idea of coming up with a story as well. And I do have a background in art and photography and things like that, so that kind of lends well to it.
Yeah, see, I'm in the same boat. Like, I went to college. I have a bachelor's degree in theater and photography. So, like, both of those add up. Plus, I was a whore all throughout it. And I'm like, I don't know how I didn't do this. I think back and I'm like, I should have fucking done camming in college. You know how well I could have done just in my college dorm room that I had to myself for 4 years because I had a single room? Oh my God, it would have been so great. I would have had all the men all over me. Yeah. It would have been so much easier.
I was so shy. Like, okay, so take a wild guess. How old do you think I was when I finally banged? When I finally had sex?
Well, if I'm going to go off of context clues now, I'm going to say like 24.
Oh, you kind of jumped at 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But still, like, you know.
That's still, I lost mine 2 weeks before I turned 17.
Yeah. So maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just making up for lost time. I got to get in my dick quota.
I've put mine in like clockwork.
Yeah.
There's some timesheets there.
The mileage is turning over.
Oh,
the odometer's back
time to
zero.
exchange that car out for a new one. But it wasn't, for me, it wasn't until I went to Exotica Miami last year, just on a whim, because I was doing a gig out in Miami. I was building a music festival called Rolling Loud, and I was just like, man, what the fuck is there to do in Miami? Because like I've been there a few times, and it's just, to me, it's boring as fuck. And it's just like the traffic makes it so unfun to want to do anything.
Yeah.
I have really bad road rage. But like not in like a dangerous way, more in a like, people are like, yo, dude, can you stop yelling? I'm like, no, they cut me the fuck off. Get the fuck off the road. But no. And so I was looking on FetLife, and something for Exotica showed up, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and I was like, they have sex conventions, or a sexpo, as you will. And I looked it up even more, and they were like, VIP tickets for one day were $70.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I immediately texted my boss. I'm like, hey, you're not getting me this day. I'm going. And he was like, what do you mean? And what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm not telling you, but I'm not fucking coming in.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, okay. So I went there, and I was dressed all cutesy. I was wearing like a cute little
You always wear the cutest outfits.
When I'm not working, yes. When I have free time, for sure.
Well, now when I'm working, I'm wearing cute outfits.
Yeah, well, because like my what I consider my work outfit is construction for the most part, so it's way different. They get mad at me when I try to wear my cute shit, because I have a few times, but they're like, you gotta stop doing that. I'm like, but it's cute and it's safe, it's fine. But I was wearing a cute little like cut off overalls and a pink crop top with a bunch of cow print everything to Exotica. And
so cute.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh my God, who are you? And I'm like, hi, I'm Taffy. I'm so new to all of this. They're like, oh my God, it's so good to meet you. Do you do any of this? I'm like, no, but I'm thinking about it now.
Yeah.
And so I made some really good connections, and like, albeit there were some people that like put a lot of trust in me, just on a whim, which I'm so glad they did, because it really like,
isn't like the industry so welcoming?
Dude, oh my God, everyone is so fucking nice. Because one of the people I met at that one let me +1 with them to, where'd I go? Oh, the Avian Awards, which is where I met you.
Yeah.
And
well, we met in the TTS line at Avian.
that's fair. That counts. That's the same thing. And we'll talk about that in a second because that's a great little story. But so I went there, and I actually got to like be there with Chatterbait and whatnot, which was like, I was like, I don't belong here. I'm so not like at the level I should be at for this, but people are trusting me, and then like everyone was so nice to me. Everyone invited me to do all the things. Like I got to go to karaoke. We went to some like really nice dinners. I just chatted with the CFO of Chatterbait for like an hour and didn't even fucking know it. And then she goes to leave, and one of the ladies who's like in charge of all the models was like, do you know who that was? I'm like, well, if you're asking me that, it was probably someone pretty high up. And she's like, I think you made a good impression. I'm like, oh, God damn it. Okay, good. Yeah. But as my listeners can tell, and I'm sure you can tell, I have the gift of gab, and I can talk and charm anyone.
You sure do.
But to talk back about Avian, the convention itself was a whole lot of fun. I was drained. I was exhausted by the end of it. By the second day, I was fucking exhausted, but it was so much fun. But we cannot ignore the TTS line.
And guys,
you want to explain a little bit about what happened?
Theys and thems. Like
all the in-betweeners.
Yes. Everyone. Taffy says he has the gift of gab, and he is not fucking around. We waited in that line for 6-7 hours.
Yes.
He never stopped talking. Never. And it was freezing. It was cold.
It was fine for the first like 2 or 3 hours, and then the sun started setting, and it was like, oh shit, we're in Vegas in January, and everyone's dressed like a slut or dressed like...
Well, I went to Bikram yoga, so I was dressed like, I looked like I just crawled out of like a pile of sweat. Like I had no makeup. I hadn't showered. My hair was stuck to my face, no makeup. I was like...
There were people in crop tops and leggings. Some smart people were in pajamas or whatnot because they didn't give a fuck.
But I will never forget when we were all standing there talking, and Taffy said, like, I have a propane heater in my car. Should I go get it? And I was like, why didn't you get it 2 hours ago? Yes, go get it. I didn't
fucking think about it. We were having fun. And then so I go and grab that. And I come back, and I'm immediately everybody's favorite fucking person in line. Like, everyone's swarming around me. Like, I have to take turns, like, getting groups of people. Like, I was being, like, a rotating propane heater. Just fucking, like, oh, this group will get it for 3 minutes. I'll talk to you guys. Okay, guys, you've had enough. Here's this group. Yeah. And then the next group. And then, like, because of that, I made so many, like, good connections and close people that whenever I went to Avian, everyone's like, oh, my God, you're the heater dude. I've heard about you. And I'm like... What do you mean? This is blowing up my ego so badly. What the fuck?
Oh,
got a couple of dates out of it. It was great. And then a couple of scenes too.
Well, our scene, because we wouldn't have met otherwise.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. We probably would have met in passing, but it wouldn't have been like we wouldn't have hit it off. We wouldn't have had that trauma bond, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
For lack of better terms. But like. It was just insane. Like, someone fully left, went and got dinner and came back, got in line. Some people showed up. Like, it was totally around the corner. And to be clear, it wasn't entirely TTS's fault in a sense. It was more so just a lack of preparedness.
Well, it was right around like the New Year holiday.
There was like 3 things that really like contributed to the fuckery that was that. One, it was Avian, so everyone and their fucking mother literally were in line to get tested because it was the day before the convention started. 2, they had just opened back up from a week-long break of being closed for winter or whatever.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So they were also like understaffed. I think they only had 2 people there.
Yeah, there were only 2 people working.
And 1 chair open when they should have had like 3.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the people working, they deserve medals.
Yeah, because
Like
also they're supposed to close at like what, 4 or 5 p.m.
something like
They
that.
stayed open till like 8 or 9. They were like, yeah, we're gonna get everyone that's in line. Don't worry, guys. We're staying open for you guys. And everyone was like, this sucks, but thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I'm so
Yeah.
appreciative. And like saying all that, just so it doesn't sound like we're dogging on TTS, because
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they provide a very necessary and required service. I keep looking at the computer like it's the audience. I love it. It's so funny all the time. But like it's a very required service for our industry, and it's my least favorite thing about being in the porn industry, because I hate needles with a passion, and it's
Oh.
so difficult. But I like fucking more than I hate needles.
Yeah. Yeah, see,
So
I don't mind. Like I'm the shade of a frog's belly, so they can find a vein
yeah,
just
see, the only thing for
immediately.
me is I've always been described as a nurse's wet dream, because I'm just very veiny. Like you can see all of my shit very clearly. So
You're
they've never
so
had a-
vain. This
Yeah, right.
podcast isn't even about you.
Sorry, I talk.
Okay.
But I think that discusses the TTS and AVN stuff pretty well. Let's get back into talking about you, so that I'm not a vain asshole.
No, you were not. I was singing the song. Everybody knows the song, and now you have like a song to put to the beginning and end of
Oh,
it.
I know what song you're talking about
You're
now.
so
So vain. I don't know any of the other lyrics off the top. If I listen to the song, I know it, but if I don't, I don't know
think
them.
the song is about you.
There we go.
You're so vain.
But yeah, so to get back into porn,
Mm-hmm.
what's the most interesting, or like your favorite scene that you've shot so far? What's like the coolest thing you've done?
Oh, that one's easy. Like, and I've had like a lot of like fun shoots, like even like selective collabs are great, mainstream shoots, like independent producer shoots. But my favorite one I shot in Miami a few months ago, and it's in a barber shop.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Were you giving the haircut, or were you getting the haircut?
I was the barbershop manager,
Okay.
and I was giving the haircut and giving other things too.
Giving both heads a little cut.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was just so much fun because being an older performer, sometimes, I play roles that I'm not exactly jazzed about.
I have heard about them.
Yeah, not to get into too much detail.
No.
But I mean, it is tough, like being like a woman in her mid 40s and like jumping into a brand new industry, and an industry that's all about like looks.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I just like have to remind myself it is a role that I'm playing. But this role was fun because I got to be like my Gen X self. Like I don't describe myself as a MILF because I'm not a mom.
Yeah.
But I'm a Gen Xer who just kind of runs around.
Yeah, I wish there was like a better term, and there probably is. I just can't think of it off the top of my head, about like a better term for an older woman. Cougar? Well,
No,
that's where
I
someone,
don't like cougar.
Yeah, cougar's going specifically
It's
for
kinda-
younger men.
Yeah, and it's kind of derogatory.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like there needs to be a term for an older woman that's just,
That's
all
just
about
living her
herself, and
life.
she's just giving it. She knows what she wants. She's ready, and she's
Yeah.
still in her sexual prime.
I think it's always funny too because like I'll be talking to like men in their 40s and 50s, and they're all like, oh, well, I mean, you're a mature performer. And I was all like, do people call you a mature performer because you're a male? And they just look at me and
Like, no.
no, I'm just a porn star. And I'm like, well, me too.
So my asshole.
Yeah. I'm like, move on over. Yeah. So, I mean, but I think like the industry is changing a lot, which is great.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's becoming more inclusive. And I'm really excited to be a performer in this time while things are changing.
Yeah, I've got to say I think it's a really good time for me to have gotten on too, because people are just more open. Like you hear stories about like the past, and it's just like for dudes specifically, it's like, oh, injections this, pill that, all that. And then you talk to people like more like that are in the newer newer generation of content creation, and they're like, Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm good. I don't use pills. I don't need any of that stuff. I'm just having fun. But to get on that barbershop one real quick, I think that would be. I think that's actually a really good idea for a video, because like, as any man who has ever been to a sports clip can agree, or any man who's been into a dentist's office, my favorite thing about going to them is not only the fact that I've got a really nice woman playing with my hair, because I love it, but no matter what, to cut your hair correctly at a sports clips, it's always some like relatively older lady, or like a girl who's like just turning 25 and still like just banging looking. And they're just like, they have to like bend over you entirely to like clip your hair, so their tits are just in your face, and you have to like be cool about it. You're like, oh, okay. And like when they give you you get like a massage and like a head scrub and like the hot towel, they get like real close into you. It's like really sensual, and I'm like, oh, you know what you're doing. Yeah. You know what you're doing. I love this. That'd be such a good video.
Yeah. It was so much fun. Like, the barbershop itself was like super cool. There was a giant mural on the wall, and
you
like
use the cool like the step up chair thingy.
Yes, we use that in ways that chair has never been used before. And it was just fun. Like, I got to choose my own wardrobe for the most part, and everybody on set was like so cool and so nice and so much fun. Yeah, so that's been my favorite scene so far.
Okay. I'm still waiting for my opportunity to do anything with a production of like a full-on production company, or like a professional like group or whatever. I've had a couple of people tell me that they were interested, but then they never like messaged back.
Yeah.
Because like the only thing I've done for like an actual like website was actually, it was pretty cool. Super easy. It was just a solo jerk off video. Because I was walking to leave Avian, and this dude comes like jogging up to me.
Can I just say, I love how you say AVN. You say avian like it's the flu.
Yeah.
Like bird flu.
Yeah, Avian.
AVN.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing.
All right, continue.
But so I was walking to leave, and this dude comes running up. He's like, "Hey, are you here for the convention?" And I'm like, I'm dressed fucking just like the most downright slut you've ever seen. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And he was like, so I have a website that's catered towards it's all about tall dudes with long hair and tattoos.
Oh.
Would you be interested? And I'm like, I look down at myself, and I'm like,
how could I not be?
That's me. Like, okay, cool. What do you want? He's like, so like, it is mostly catered towards like the gay scene. And I'm like, well, I'm not really into penis. And he's like, we also work with trans people. And I'm like, I'm down for that. And whatnot. But he's like, to start off, we can just do like a solo masturbation video, like quick 15, 20 minutes, no problem, super easy. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And he was like, are you going to X3? And I was like, actually, yeah. And he's like, just talk to me when we get there. We'll make this whole thing happen. Went there. It was at his house. It was real like easy. He was like a really chill dude, really cool. I actually like keep in contact with him because he was really sweet. Very gay. Love it. But so we did that, and then we posted it on there, and I'm like, oh fuck, I hate the way I look, but I made it. I'm online now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. It's fun.
But so has getting into porn caused any sort of backlash or any sort of situations you didn't think or not really like super happy that have happened since getting into it in your like personal life or anything like that?
Not really. Like, I'm not very close with my family, and it's not something that they would find out about anyway.
That's fair.
So I just don't really share with them what I'm doing.
Okay.
But everything else, I'm just kind of like, there's no such thing as bad publicity. Like, if you meet me in the real world, you're probably gonna end up with a Melody sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
starting to get that way with my taffy stickers. I love it.
yeah, I'm like, I don't care. Put it up in a bathroom somewhere.
Oh, I
Like,
throw my business cards out like it's fucking money. Like I
yeah.
just like I have them in my wallet, and anytime I see a cute girl, I'm like, hey, here's my business card. It has my number and any way to like contact me if you're interested, or if I see other
Yeah.
people that are talking like, hey, I'm a photographer and a whore. Here's my
Yeah.
card. Check me out if you're into that shit.
Yeah, but I feel like as far as like personal like relationships and things, like I'm eternally single, and I feel like part of the reason it was easy for me to transition into the industry is like my interactions, like I feel like I've always kind of been like fetishized.
Yeah.
And like so I think it was easier for me to walk in that way, and like, I don't have like anyone to really judge about what I'm doing.
Have you ever run into any like stalker situations or anything kind of like that?
No, not yet. I don't have a stalker
Keyword,
yet.
not yet.
I'm not taking applications. Calm down.
Control yourselves.
I mean, I've definitely gotten my fair share of like
Awkward
not
convention
cool
situations.
like not well, yeah, maybe there have been a few
I
awkward.
had a wild one happen at Avian.
What happened?
Oh my God, I'm still not 100% sure. I was just like, I was walking around going to talk to all the people at the booth that I was like communicating with, and this dude comes up to me and like, I'm like spaced out, just like looking at all the hot chicks with their tits out, and I'm like, ah, sweet, I love this. And this dude comes up to me, he's like, hey, are you a faggot? And I'm like,
Oh.
what? I'm like, what? And he had like a Middle Eastern accent, like something along those lines. I'm not sure 100% what it was.
Yeah.
But so like I also didn't. It took a second to register, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, you do the gay fag shit, and I was like,
That's a
sir. So like I step back and I get in like a fighting position. I'm like,
yeah.
what the fuck's going on right now? And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't have time for this, and then walks off. And I'm like,
You don't have time for the question that you initiated.
I'm like, were you wondering if I do gay porn so you could buy it? Because that's not the way to go about it, dog. Like, what the fuck was that? And I told my fucking the Chatterbait representative, and she's like, that's not okay. Who is this? And I was like, I have no clue. He's gone now.
Yeah.
But so like, thankfully it didn't get any worse than that. But like, I was just like, oh my God, those people do exist. Holy shit.
Yeah, definitely like Exotica, New Jersey. I had a couple people because, fans want to take pictures
Yep.
with you, and they just assumed that they could just grab all up inside my ass
hear that a
crack and
lot.
try to grab my pussy and grab my boobs, and I'm like, yo.
Pay for it.
Yeah, this is not okay. Like, there is something called consent.
Yeah, it's always because I hate it because it is significantly more prevalent in women by an absolute long landslide than it is for those situations to really happen with men. From what I've seen,
Yeah.
I could be very wrong,
It
but
happens
yeah.
to everyone.
But it's just like, because I'll talk to people, and anytime they're like, yeah, that's totally happened to me. And either, you either get used to it in a sense that you learn to like step up and be like, hey, not fucking cool, back the fuck up, or they just brush it off and just don't make a big deal of it. I'm like, no, make a big deal out of it.
Oh, I do. I put
Yeah.
the fear of God and their mother in them.
My favorite thing is whenever like someone else tells me that happened to them, and then like another girl will chime in and is like, who are they? I'll cut their dick off right now. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, go queen, let it out. But yeah, so it's one of those things that it's been it's been a really solid year. I've made a lot of really good friends, a lot of great connections. Thankfully, I already travel a lot, so I'm able to go see those people and do all that shit because I'm usually in a major city where most people are anyways.
Yeah.
And if not, I'm more than willing to travel like up to a tank of gas to like go make scenes with someone, which is like 400 miles for me.
Yeah.
Which is great. But in terms of this podcast, I wanted to open it up a little bit and see if you had any questions you were curious about, any topics that you wanted to get into, any thoughts you might have about the way things are.
Oh, geez.
That's the reaction I get anytime I.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh God, I have to think of things now. Fuck.
Yeah, I just am usually just a free form like complainer. Like I usually just let it all out. I don't have to make cohesive thoughts about it. Um, yeah, I think that I just kind of that I wish that fans understood a little bit more about how much work goes into being in the business and how this is just like any other job in the way that time is money. And yeah, just sending like your favorite star like Twitter messages that are like, hey, and like expecting, us to be able to drop everything and talk to them like for free is kind of like, it's just rude.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like we love like a comment here, a little compliment here and there. That's always really sweet.
Engagement is always helpful, but
Yeah.
propositions don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I am not your conduit to entering the adult industry, you know.
I I definitely feel the same way about that. And like one thing I do want to put out into just the ether is that, as a fan, your life and your enjoyment of being around a model or a content creator or whatever term someone uses to describe themselves is going to go by so much smoother, better, and more fun for you if you're just nice and cool about it.
Yeah.
Most people are willing to do a lot of stuff if you're being nice about it and or offering the right compensation. Does that
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sense?
for
Like
sure.
if you want to take a picture with somebody, most people are down to do it. Some people do charge, some people don't. If you
Yeah.
want to like
It kind of depends on the event.
yeah, that too.
Like Exotica's like, yeah, man, just like give them a couple
Yeah.
bucks. Like,
And
yeah.
like people have Polaroids or use panties and all that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
stuff.
buy merch.
Yeah.
I am a merch girl. I have
I'm working
so
on getting it.
much.
Um
Yeah.
and then also like, if you want to grab their boobs, fucking ask them first. Some might
Yeah.
want you to pay a little bit more because like that is a service that they're offering.
Yeah. Or if they're not cool with it, like be
They're gonna tell you no,
respectful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like nothing. It just causes problems if you don't be nice about things, and it's the same. I mean, it's the same way in the real world as in the porn world because there's plenty of stuff happening every day about someone doing something unconsensually or just being rude or something like. There's always a Twitter thing going on, which is like good that those people are getting outed. There's someone fucking hacking up a lung outside. I hope that doesn't show up. Whatever. But like, there's always someone. It's just one of those things where it's like, the nicer of a person you are, the better things are gonna go for you in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah, and we're people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're a specific person that likes to be used as an object.
Unless if
and that's
you're
an individual
AI
case.
pretending to be a person.
If you're fucking AI, you get your sad little robot brain the fuck out of here because I don't like you. I'm gonna kink shame you, AI, you piece of shit. Fuck you. Was that good degradation? I think I did good.
Yeah, look at you. Yeah. Dom Taffy over here.
I'm a subby little boy.
Master Taffy. You turn purple.
But yeah, no, merch stuff is another fun little topic. It's one of those things that I want to get into a little bit more. Because I have stickers, I have business cards. I consider myself merch because, hi. But I've got some really good ideas, but I don't think I'm at the level in which a company would want to like group up with me to do. I really want to start making clones of my penis. I want to make my own dildos.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I could do the Clone a Willy thing, but then it would just cost a lot.
Yeah.
Because like I'd have to buy the Clone a Willy, I'd have to do each individual one. If I can just get a master mold and do it whenever someone purchases one, I could cut the cost significantly and be a lot more fun. But outside of doing a dildo, I want to make penis lollipops of my penis.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, because I don't see a whole lot of people doing it. I also have a very thick penis, and it would be a very great lollipop. It is. I feel
Yeah.
like it's the right length and size for a lollipop that would last a while. Plus,
Yeah.
I just feel like it'd be a huge flex to see my dick walking around an expo floor, people sucking on it. It's like, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Okay, there was another one I wanted to do. Fuck. I forgot what it was. But like, what kind of merch do you have? Is it a lot of stickers? Cause your sticker, I love your stickers. I have both of them on my travel case for my
Yeah.
camera gear.
Yeah, I think it just like, yeah, my merch, like my love of merch comes from like going to punk rock and rock and roll shows since I was like a teenager, so merch has always been a big thing for me. I have stickers, I have Polaroids, I have panties, I have 8x10s that I can sign. I have bar keys, like bar tools that real bartenders use.
Okay.
Those are really
Oh,
awesome.
those are the ones you showed me.
Yeah, the metal ones.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
And I have matches, but then it's like when you're traveling and you're like, oh yeah, the matchbooks, like I love them, but then I realize I cannot travel with them.
Planes.
Yeah, you can't bring them on a plane, so that's like.
I will say that is the one nice thing about me driving everywhere is
Yeah.
I can take whatever the fuck I want, wherever the fuck I want, and no one's
Yeah.
gonna stop me unless I get really fucked up and get pulled over by the police.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean,
So let's talk about the future a little bit. Where do you see yourself? Are you talking about me playing with my hair?
No, I was
Snickering.
just immediately hearing like you said future, and I immediately thought of like Conan O'Brien being like in the year 2000.
But yeah, so where do you hope to see yourself like go in the industry or?
I mean, like I'm in it to win it. Like I'm in it for the long haul. But I do like, of course, like I enjoy acting, but I also want to get into the production side of things, running my own company, shooting my own feature films, yeah,
The
running
fun
my
part.
own storylines,
Yeah.
like helping like
Acting how I want to act.
yeah, playing the characters that I feel passionate about and being like part of the community and yeah, helping other people like find success.
If the opportunity ever arose, would you see yourself getting into mainstream acting that's not porn related?
Sure, why not?
Because I've actually seen, recently in, the generic, especially with Euphoria and more like porn positive, even more porn unpositive stuff that's come out recently.
You mean negative?
Yeah, porn negative. Yeah, my brain.
Unpositive? I mean, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, but you know what I mean.
Same difference.
But the industry has started to become more accepted in the acting sphere because you've got people like Chloe Cherry, who is a brand name now in the mainstream world, and then you've got people like other people who did porn for a little bit and then were like, I don't like this, and then they go to acting and do decently well. Like I don't feel like it's any longer the days of, oh, she did porn once,
Yeah.
you're not working in acting, you're gonna be the meth hooker.
Yeah.
Or something like that,
Yeah.
Now they get to be, actual like characters and whatnot. I can't really speak on the men because I don't think I've ever heard of like a male porn star going into acting off the top of my head, unless it was the 50 Shades of Grey guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't keep up with that too well, but like it's just a really cool atmosphere that you can like we're able to finally transition into.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like even like, what was it, like 10, 15 years ago when like Sasha Grey was on Entourage and it was real scandalous.
I do forget about that, yeah.
Like it was like
I never
kind
watched
of
Entourage.
scandalous. But I mean, like things are changing so quickly and yeah.
And then at the same time, we're still dealing with a bunch of stupid bullshit and heavily conservative dogmas and stuff attacking our industry, using all the negatives they can to make it harder, which just like it's just dangerous. Like it's not doing good for anybody, and like that's what they want ultimately, but like I wish there was a way to do something actually productive in the way of combating that, but there's really not.
Yeah.
Except for the Free Speech Coalition. If you're not familiar with them, go check them out. Donate to them if you can. They are a organization fighting for the freedom of speech in all aspects, but mainly through the sphere of adult content creation, porn, sex work, and the likes. They actively fight cases in Congress. They do a bunch of stuff like that, and that is my shameless plug for a great organization, which you should know more about and check out.
Yes, I concur.
But so are there people that you've been really excited to work with? Either that you like, who are some people that you haven't worked with yet, but you're just like, oh man, I wanna do something with them.
I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna say
That's
anything.
fair. Okay.
No. And honestly, like I'm so just like in my personal life, like sure, like I watch porn too and always have a little bit, but I'm just like 5 minutes here or there.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a large activity in my life.
See, it's weird for me now, cause like I've been an active porn watcher since I was 8. Maybe a little too young. Not my problem. I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. But it's great now because I'm actively working with the people that I used to jerk off to.
Yeah.
And I'm also actively working with the people that my friends and coworkers in other industries jerk off to. And I'm like, guys,
Yeah.
I just made the coolest scene with this name here. And they're like, are you fucking shitting me? Really? And I'm like, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah, but I guess I'm just kind of ignorant. Like I don't know, like I could maybe name like 5 to 10 people in the industry that aren't just like my friends that I've met and that I know. So yeah. But
yeah, I think since I have been watching it so young that I did just, there's a lot of people like you learn about like the main heavy hitters pretty quickly because they're in fucking everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's been a fun ride. I've definitely got people like my goal at some point, because I'll jinx it because I don't believe in that. I have no problem talking about it. I am actively working to getting to the point of getting to work with Alex Cole or Lena Paul.
Nice.
Those are the two main people I really want to work with. And then in like a non-sexual way, because I don't want to have sex with him, but I want to do something like kinky and fun, like weird-wise. I want to do something with the flesh mechanic really badly.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like, I just think it would be a really fun idea to do, like two dudes play chess naked and just talk about their day or something, or, like play video games and just, I don't know, like something that's not inherently sexual, but it's like we sexualize ourselves through it. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because, like, penis is gross to me.
Yeah, I mean, I like them. I'm not really quite sure why, but...
I'm the same way about vaginas. I'm like, man, I don't understand why I do, but, like, it's just the best. It's one of my favorite fucking things. Love it. I can stay down there for hours. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any topics that your mind is sort of wandering to?
No, not at the moment. I feel like you may have used up most of my energy before we recorded this.
Yeah, we did. We did do a lot.
Yeah.
Well, one last topic before we leave then.
Okay.
When it comes to the industry as a whole, what are some of the hopes and dreams you have for it?
The industry in general?
Yeah.
I mean, I just want it to be a encouraging, fair place to be. Like it always it hurts my heart when I'm like scrolling through Twitter and like and you see like, oh, this person is not safe. Like that really bums me out. Like I want people to be safe and creative.
It would also just make it so much easier to do what we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just want things to be like more inclusive for everyone, and yeah, and just like a safe place to be.
Yeah. I really just want it to become more accessible to the adult viewer, because it's still one of those things where it's still like to the average person it's still taboo to like actively talk about it or be like, yeah, I'm really interested in this certain like adult performer. Like,
Yeah.
that's only like reserved for people who don't give a shit or something like that. And then it's also like, you know, we have to jump through so many hoops and climb over so many walls to get to like specific places. Like, you know, just renting an Airbnb for a fucking scene is a hassle, or a hotel, or like
Yeah.
all the extra paperwork we have to fill out to do a scene compared to like just television and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely glad that there are like some, measures in place to make sure like people aren't being trafficked or underage, like making sure everything's on the up and up. But yeah, some of the sites is definitely like difficult. Like I've already put in all my paperwork. I've already tagged all my co-creators.
It's like, I've done everything. Like, well, this
Yeah.
violates our community guidelines, and like, can you just tell me which one I violated so I can not do that next time? Maybe. Thank you.
Yeah. So I know, like, yeah.
But yeah. So this has been a wonderful little talk we had. I hope you have enjoyed it as well.
I did. Yes. Always.
To leave off, can you share with our audience just some hopeful words of wisdom, or a nice little saying by chance?
Oh, well, geez. Well,
Fun little surprise for the end.
no, that's okay. No, I have this because I've taught yoga for 10 years, and after every single class I teach, and I would just say this, and I didn't realize that that somebody else said this who had a talk show. But I always like, at the end, I'm always like, take care of yourselves and each other. So, yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
And then do you want to plug yourself in one more time for all those lovely people who have stayed to the end of this?
Yeah. So find my link tree. My name is Melody, Melody, Minxxx, Mynx. And yeah, I hope that you enjoy my content and, keep on trucking.
Yeah, this was a great podcast. And with that, we are gonna bid you, fellow listeners, adieu, and have a wonderful time. Tune in next time when I have another wonderful guest on my podcast. And this has been a sex talk with twisting it, or I'm gonna edit this and redo this real quick. This has been another sex talk with me, Taffy, on my wonderful podcast, Twisting It with Taffy. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Bye.